Hey guys, my name is Citiac and welcome back to another episode of FishTown here in City Skylines 2, which we're now witnessing the brand new beautiful tram system that we have now running through the island as it now picks up and transfers people in bulk to get them to their destinations. Now, in the last couple of episodes, boys, we've transformed the island right now to where they're pretty much complaining about minimal stuff. There's a few little hiccups here and there we do need to sort out, but so far, so good. We're now making some decent money. We've had to expand the road network into a 4-lane system to accommodate all the road traffic, which is quite minimal, and the tram systems, which I'm realizing I have a little bit of a backlog there. This is my first bit of traffic jam, which is absolutely wild right now. And we did dip and get rid of a lot of population in the last episode, but we've since grew everything back. So much, in fact, that our demands are pretty strong and we might need to start thinking about planning out our big mega city. But before we get on to that, and before we talk about exactly what we're going to be doing and maybe setting up those plans for our big mega city, I just want to say right now, if you are enjoying this series, make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here so you do get notified when more episodes do come out. But boy, oh boy, are we looking pretty juicy right now. So, before we do anything then, we're going to actually talk about, we're going to start figuring out the plans for our mega city. And in this episode, we're going to start planning out the road network and layout ready for us to implement it. But before we can do that, we got to solve a few other issues within FishTown. Now, what's making our citizens the most unhappy? It would be the unreliable mail service. Now, we do have a good coverage, right, with collecting the mail. We just can't seem to sort the mail. So we need to pretty much place down a mail sorting facility. So we can't really do it at the post office, the Japan one. We do have the EE one, a variation as well. We've got the normal post office, which handles incoming and outgoing mail. Very good. It is what it is. But what we need to do is have the buildings that have the sorting speed. Now, we only really have it on the post sorting facility. I think this one can do it as well, but I might as well just get the really, really big one. The only issue is it's 650,000 big ones. Now, I might place it just over here where it's just slightly out of the way. Or place it over here as well. So I think what we need to do then, before I can place that down and start sorting mail, which does mean you'll start seeing the ships kind of come in and out with a lot more goods kind of on board, which will be all mail related facility stuff. I need to kind of work with the layout. So I think before I can do anything then, I need money. And I need to sort out this layout. Boys, could this now be the start of our big mega town? I think it might be. So, what we're going to do then is we're going to work out a simplistic layout. And I think I'm going to first create a grid format based on this little rectangular section here. So, if I come off, and however I place this right now is going to predetermine the whole of this area. So, if I come off the road network, I'd rather it align to the beach slightly. But let's just say I did it. Oh, this is however I do this is going to determine everything right now. But let's say I did it here. Right, it's probably the wrong thing to do, but just bear with me. So base it off there, and I'm just going to quickly create my grid format. So just bear with me for just a second. So if I come down by 2, we're going to do one more, which will be our free setup. So one more is our free. I've got to figure out where I want the kind of the main road system running through. Now, let me just actually go the full distance, because we might have to navigate some of this stuff anyway. Let me go the full distance and see where the alignment is going to end. So I can't do another one because we kind of technically run out of land. So if I deleted you and you and you, and delete all of you, I'm wondering if it would make sense for me to incorporate our 4-lane road system here. So if I implemented it there, it wouldn't give me much space left over for a bulk of stuff, but our main city is on the inner side near the beach. So then if I was to build you like that, and then build you like that, then the zoning ends there for the edge, and that kind of works out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 roads that side, 2 roads this side, which I don't think work out too bad. No, I don't think they do. Now I've just got to figure out how far they go across before we start making everything bend away from us. That's going to be the next interesting scenario. Now, in theory, I could just kind of base it there, bring this down by a 112, and then go across, and then do it by a 224 before I make my next incision. Now, if I did that and then ran that all the way down, right, that's how we then get our first little format. And then this is going to run down to here. And that's as far as I want to take it that side before it all starts bending round. But then the question would be is how far am I taking it down this way before it ends as well? So 224 snapping in. Let's see how far I can take this down. So I think it's going to end here on this one. It's not going to be able to go any further than that. So if I bring that one in and make this one go a 224, we can kind of still continue in that regards before we have to start bending upwards. Because that can kind of like just come down. Actually, it could actually go one more, but then I think I might incorporate the transition bend there. So let's continue this and then continue you. And then continue you and then continue. So it's very gritty here, but this is where I went this is where I pretty much want the downtown area, the majority of all my population. And we have pushed the main dragger road a little bit further away, so everything is going to lead to this and then bend up from it. So get the 4-lane road system now, and let me just bring this to the very end. Now, do I want this to go to there, then turn, or should we have it kind of turn to go with us? Right. The planning of this is very important, by the way. I'm going to fast forward in the background so we can keep earning some extra revenue. So if I was to go for a 224 here and then bring this up, that's how it would normally run. But am I wanting to kind of delete some of it ever so slightly, maybe run on a diagonal? All right, just hear me out on all of this. You gotta hear me out on all of this right now. I'm wondering if I get rid of all of this here, delete, delete, delete. And rather than the 221, I come out by a 224, sorry. We come out by a what's half of 224? It's 112, isn't it? I had to think then for a second. I don't know why. And if I did a triangle, there, and then brought this out by a 224, and then ran you down. Right, I'm just trying something a little bit different. Here. So if I brought you to... Right, first let me bring you out like that, and then we create our little snap. Right, that's where the road kind of runs like that. And we just get it to transition into here. So I can kind of bring it to there and then snap it in. Or I can make the bend be incorporated with this. I'm not particularly too sure. Because the snap happens there, which is pretty early on. So if I went to there with you, and then decided to do said bend now, that will become a 116. By a 112, we'll do that. So it kind of comes away from it. We get this very interesting alignment change. And in a weird way, I kind of like it. So if that came down like this... Now, my alignments are all completely off at this point, but it kind of has to be. it does kind of have to be. So get rid of you. I'm now going to get rid of all of this, as I now sort the rest of all of this out properly. So we kind of lose a little bit of the alignment running all the way down now at this point. But if I kind of continued this... I don't know how much of it we're going to, like, technically gain back. But if I ran that just to there for a hot min. And I know that running off this on the right degree sorts itself out. Well, I go a 112 there and I do a 112 there. Actually, I don't need this now. Nor do I need you, because we got to transition it then round. But it's just figuring out where the kind of the markers, the best marker points would be to allow me to do this. So that's something that we'll have to figure out. So if I went to there and then came back a little bit. Actually, no, if I went there and did a 224. Which would be there. And then I get rid of you and you. I think I've got this about right. So delete you there. Bring you then down and in. But all that goes completely wrong. Why does that go all completely wrong? Well, let me delete you. So I'm trying to get this to sit right. But it's slightly wonky. Can you see how it's slightly wonky? Right, there we go. Right, why is it going slightly wonky all of a sudden? It's as if I'm not allowed to get this how I want it. Right, please don't mess up now. Right, that was a lot more difficult than it should have been. Just saying. Just saying right now. So bring you out to about just there, and then we'll incorporate said bend. And then run you down. And then same with this one. So bring you out to just there. And then we're going to bend you in. And then run you out like that. So it all ends differently. You get different variations. And then you can see how the town then just kind of like runs away from us. And then we'll try and incorporate this. So obviously that running straight. But we're going to have this go up by another 112 to cut across this way. That's of course going to cut across that way. And then we'll allow this to get to about there. Is it too... That's too... We've left it too late there, haven't I? I think I'm going to bend it from this side. So a 32 by a 32. And then running all the way up. So you get these little open bits, which are beautiful for bigger buildings. They're beautiful for plaza area stuff. And that works out really well for us. You get our grid format to maximize the space and the grid building scenario situation. And then you got your main bulky road flowing through, which is of course going to have a bunch of tram lines and routes on it. So let me now just figure out how we're going to do it to over here, because this also has to change. So if I do the same again, we'll come out by a 224. And if I go up and then straight back in, and if I 224, delete you. If I grab you to there, that's our 45-degree angle. Right? That's our 45-degree angle. So then what we do is we do it similar to this. We base it off that 45-degree. And we get our large road here. So if I do it just off this one real quickly, and then run you down, and then delete all this, And then that should be just off it, which it is. Run you now going further down. Let me just kind of go the full shebang distance. Now, we've actually got $1 million now in the bank, which is showing me that we can now get our sorting facility down. So how far did I stick this out by? We actually went a little bit of a distance, didn't we? Like a 114 almost. I don't think we've got that luxury here. Because the bend's going to happen pretty soon. So we'll do about... I'll do an 80. So it's a little bit different. A little bit different. Now, if I just quickly delete you and delete you and get it to run up on this line. We maintain it all. Obviously, we're going to stick directly from this, so we'll have to find the bend there. So we'll delete you back, we'll delete you back. But you can see how the 4-lane road system is going to work and how it's the main dragger road, higher speed limit, higher capacity, and that's where the vehicles run all the way through it. So let me just figure out the transition. All right, so we will bring this... I'm going to bring that to there, and then we'll play around with the bend here. So if I did it from this first, 77... by a 77, that works, and then straight in. So that's our transition into there, which is perfect. Let me now figure out where we want to place in the connection. So if I just come off this and do our 112, ugh. Right, whatever I do here is going to be the wrong thing. Okay, whatever I do will be the wrong thing. So, where's that going to bend in? So, if I brought you down to here and then chose to do a 50-odd... There we go, bend you in. Perfect. So, it's a little bit different to how I would normally do this. And then delete you. Delete you all again. I'm actually going to delete it all again right now because I want the alignment to actually work, because this is not going how I want it to go. I'm not liking the snap it's created. And I don't know why it's doing that. Why does it create the break? What's making it create the break? The line's that I can see the line. And there's the break. What makes it create the break? If I deleted that road... and then, or just kind of like bypassed it all. Right, there's something on that snap there it didn't like. Right, it's done it again. Right, let me get rid of the snapping to... Is it the 90-degree angle snapping I'm worried about? No. Is it the snap into buildings? No. Is it snap into zones? There's something here. There's something there that I'm not a fan of. But anyway, it's making me waste time. It's making me waste time here. So, let's just pick a spot. It doesn't really matter. Oh, actually, it does matter because I can actually work this out a little bit better. So if I pick the point here and then a 224 is a bit too far away. It will be too far away either side. So 224. Now I could do a 112 there. And then do a 112 there. And then that's our 224, but then we get 2 entry points. We get 2 entry points then onto this 4-lane road. That's the magic I needed. That is the magic I needed right there. So, bring you a little bit down. Right, let's not do this now. What's going on? What's going on? Put all my snapping back on. And then... there we go. And then go straight. That works. Right, there we go. So we found the transition there, which is perfect. So I could bring you just down a little bit. And then we create our bend. Which is nice. And then everything will just kind of transition into this. So we've got the layout. We've got the main road running through. Now, granted, I don't have it fully connected yet. We'll get onto that. We will get onto that. And then we'll kind of extend the tram line down and find a nice little way in which we can kind of integrate it within this vicinity. It might mean deleting some of the additional roads and getting it all set up differently. But we should be able to find a nicer way to kind of do it. But that's how it's going to run through. And that'll be the centre and the downtown area of our mega city. Right, what's happened to these abandoned buildings since? It's collapsed because of city happiness and increases... So, building collapse... a collapsed building decreases citizen happiness and increases crime probability. But the building has collapsed due to lack of maintenance. What do you mean lack of maintenance? Do I need like a road maintenance building? Is that what you're telling me? Or is that just maintenance in general? I mean, I know we need a road maintenance building. I completely agree with that one. Right, okay, that's something else we're going to have to get in them. Hold fire a second, hold fire. Because I want to also incorporate now our post-sorting facility. So a building this big could go around here. Or do I face it on this side? Now, it hasn't got to be mahoosive. It hasn't got to do anything crazy. It's just got to make sense. So if I brought this out to our 1-2 system. And if I just bring this down like that for a hot min. And I dropped our post-sorting facility. I'm going to reclaim a little bit of land, by the way. Just to get this in. So level the terrain. Let me push this back just a tad. Just there for a minute. Post-sorting facility. We need a little bit more. Okay, yeah, we definitely need a lot more. And drop you in there. Does that look about right? It does, which is really good, but I'm thinking about now changing its orientation. So if I put it this side instead, yeah, that would make a lot more sense. To run that road down to here, thus getting rid of this road, turning this around, actually, I might pull it here a bit closer. And then just quickly claiming a little bit more land. Right, do what I like to do in these situations and build a perimeter style road. We have a dedicated road access to it, to a junction which I can eventually stick a roundabout on. And I've just got to smarten up all the edges. Now there is room to add extra stuff onto it. I could add the automated sorting, but it just depends on how busy it becomes, how quickly it becomes super busy. Right, let me bulk this out so I can transition the smoothing. So go a little bit further out, then soften the terrain, but we always soften it from the bottom. So we can transition the top half a lot easier. Right. Soften the bottom. And then transition to the top. Alright, soften the bottom. And the transition to the top then works itself out. Alright, there we go. Make it a little bit bigger. Alright, smoothing that there. I do have to place down like trees and stuff to make it feel like it's a part of it again. And not just so sticky-outy. You know what I mean? Also, is it worth me just moving these points a bit? There we go. Again, like I said, a better transition. A better transition, but I'm not liking now. That doesn't stick out too much. Alright, from the bottom. Nice and smooth. That will do. Right. I have to place a bunch of trees down to make the shoreline look normal again. But that should transition pretty nice. So that will now pump out a bunch of vehicles. So we've got a semi-truck which is now transporting, or it's going to collect a load of goods now to pick it up and drop it off. So that will kind of help us out on that front. I will delete these buildings right now. Alright, get rid of them real quick. And then get them regen with a new variant of building. Very good, very good, very good. But everything is now going to be all set up. So, we've got to extend the tram line down here for it to make a little bit of sense. And I'm wondering whether it would be a good idea to incorporate one of these little fancy stops, rather than just kind of stopping either side, because this is going to be quite an important area. So I'm reckoning something like, I mean, can we add upgrades to these? No, they come as they come, don't they? I could kind of do like a parallel junction where the tram line just slightly pulls off to give us like a better transitioning into this. I'm not sure if that's the best way, or we incorporate a 360 degree. I've got one that can kind of completely come off altogether. I like the idea of the parallel one. We can kind of do something with that and get it to run through the center. But it would only really work around here, but in like a specific place. Yeah. So let me try this. I mean, it's not in the heart of it then, is it? So now, what's the point? What would be the point at that moment? Or do I make the trans system come down and then kind of turn... Oh, actually, we could do something a lot better than that. We could actually do something a lot better. So if I got the tram system... And I'll have to figure this out. Where's the center point? So if I did a 72 and then I did a 72. Perfect. Now, do I want it there, or should we stagger it back a little bit? Right, just give me a memento. Give your boy a memento. Okay, this is not working as I thought it would. Give me a second, boys. I promise you I know what I'm doing. Even though I don't. Right, I need to go up one more. Right. That's now placed in there. But I've staggered it away from the main road in case there's like a bunch of trams that need to turn in. Right, trust me, this will make ultimate sense. Now, it does need to be connected to a road network. Okay, but maybe not the way in which I've intended it to be here. So, I'm going to make it connect itself there to there like that. So I still get to build decent buildings around it, but keeping the junctions away from the main road. And then the tram network would be this connects to here. And then you connect to there. And obviously we'll upgrade these roads. So it comes down, it does a turn in, and then maybe goes up to there and then coming straight down here to then merge back onto this. Thus, I can get a better setup. But then I don't know whether to move that here instead. So it's away from our 4-lane road system. That might be the better option. Do you know what? That's probably the better option. Right. Hold on. Take 24, boys. Take 24. And it creates this really great little plaza area to which I can add in stores and whatnot. Alright, delete all this excess that I've placed down. Move you over here. That works out really well. So then if we upgraded the road to include it, so it will go to there. Obviously, all of this will be upgraded for just a hot minute. And then that road will be upgraded to there. But when it gets to this point, I could make the tram line continue to where it would meet itself back onto this. But I've just got to figure out where the best movement place. So 56 by 56. Right, and then I'm just going to slightly adjust this with the move it tool. Like that. We're going to ungrade or downgrade you. And then you're back onto this system there. So it's able to cut through the downtown area and then back onto the 4-lane road. So if I just then get you to run directly to there, get you to run directly to there, voila! Voila. And then I might do like a little bit of a bus system. I don't know, because they might be able to walk to it just to get people around the surrounding areas to this stop. But I will do other stops dotted around anyway, and that will kind of give us the main coverage. That's a pretty nice little way to do it, isn't it? The only downside is I do need to get these technically connected. Now, I might do it like this instead, where you're there and then you're like that. So it's staggered for our little downtown area. Nice! Very nice. Very nice. Right. My only issue is I've got to make this one extend because we use this as the turnaround little area, which we're not quite able to do at the moment here. So what I might do is just for the sake of it being able to turn around, because we're not going to have anyone living over here at the minute. I don't think. Right, let me pause. Delete you. Get you connected in. Oh no, don't tell me this doesn't even align right now. Don't tell me after all that we don't even align. Do you know what? I'm not going to complain. I'm going to complain, but I'm not going to complain. Right. There we go. Do you know what? I don't like it. I'm going to complain. So yeah, let me see. It's because that doesn't align correctly. So let me bring that to there. So it's the same zoning. And then we'll bend it out now. Right, that will do. So we upgrade this to include the tram tracks. But of course we can't have it go there. But it is able to... is it able to turn around here? Ah, it just comes in and comes out. Right, perfect. So if I just make it go to there, even though there's no stop, it's going to go there anyway. I might as well just make it stop and it will head back in its direction. Okay, that works. Continue. So let me now downgrade you. Perfect. I don't have to stop here no more, so get rid of you. And it will go that... I mean, if I got rid of that, what happens? It's got to come down here anyway to be able to do the turnaround. So yeah, might as well make it stop there just for now. Just for now. We can see it working. Now, it does mean, because of the extension, we don't have enough vehicles, unfortunately. So we will need to build an additional tram depot. But I'm wondering if I can incorporate the tram, like the additional tram depots here at this point. So it's a decent sized building. If I can get it to turn you around that way. If I can get 2 in. So how big are they? So to go across, it is there to there. It's a 144. So if I based it off a 2 gap, a 3 gap, we'll give it a 3 gap. So it was a 144, right? And then 144 go up. I don't know how far up I've got to take it. So a 144, that works there. And if I did the same thing on this side. How much are these, by the way? They're 100 grand. Okay, we've got the money to do it. I'm just wondering if it makes sense to do another 144. Because it will go right to there in the corner. Or do I turn them round? Now, what's the length of them going the opposite way? 152. Okay, so delete you. And delete you. 152. 144. I'm gonna have to. I've just realised I'm gonna have to anarchy this. And then flip you round. Oh, I've miscalculated it. I've miscalculated it. How have I managed that? Right, do you know what? I'm just gonna get rid of it. How have I miscalculated that? Right, the full shebang there is a 160. How have I miscalculated that? Right, I'm going to do it here instead. So a 160 is there. So that's the width of what that building needs to be and what it needs to do. And then a 144. So if I build that square, that there gets me one of these bad boys in. Now, I wanted to try and get 2 in, but I don't know if it's a good idea. It means pushing it back down a bit and a bit further. So 160 by 144. And we'll do 1, 2, 3. So here. So a 160. 144. 160. And then your 144 can't be placed in there. That's the only downside. So I could drop you in like this. And then connect up this road here as an upgrade to the connection there. And that's how you access the actual building. But then the road connection for the tram line goes like that. And I'm hoping that can kind of continue down. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. Or whether we do it on the next one. Either way, it's going to be a little bit too close for comfort. either way. But I'll leave it like that anyway. We've got our connection coming in now. But to be honest with you, I feel like we should have got it connected to this one. Right, guys, I do apologize for this. I do apologize for this right now. I know you're probably going, this damn fool cannot make up his mind. And I'll be honest with you, I can't. Honestly can't right now. Right. Take 2. That goes there. Take 22. So now I build my perimeter road going around. I'd rather have it connected down on the other one. And that goes round like that. And then we'll have this road coming down beautifully for a little bendy-wendy just there. And then it all flows through. You can now see it all flowing, which is good stuff. And then that connection goes like that. Very good. Very good. And it kind of then ends the industrial area really nicely. And then we can create some really nice walkways and stuff as well. Right. Nice. It gives me extra trams, which is perfect. We do have a lot of traffic now coming out of here. So is it now time for a roundabout? Now, eventually we'll upgrade this to like a nice junction. But until then, we'll have to deal with a roundabout. Now, we'll go with the large roundabout. Meaning we've got multiple lanes to attach it. The trams can go straight over if needs be. But it should make the flow a whole lot easier. We did have traffic over here as well on this one. So I'll incorporate a large roundabout there, which should allow more freedom of movement. Would we need the same down here as well? So I'm going to hit up a couple of roundabouts. All through this industrialized area, which should work out fairly well for us. Keep the vehicles moving. And I think traffic was one of the issues, right? Yeah, it's a -1 at the minute. So unreliable mail service is still, boys, -10. Now we need to add in extra sorting. So we'll add the automated sorting, which will increase the sorting speed. Bam. So hopefully those numbers do go down. We've got the extra loading ramps for more vehicles. We've got no vehicles in use at the minute. Extra storage. You don't need the storage extension. We just need to sort the mail. So I'm wondering if it just takes a little bit of time to get through this backlog, but we do now have extra sorting. So we'll have to kind of watch out on that one. That ship's bringing nothing in. That one's bringing nothing in. That's leaving with fish and food. So I was just kind of trying to see right now if anything was leaving with any mail on board. Food, convenience food, fish. Very good. Very good. And we don't seem to be able to get through this. Now, I'm wondering if we incorporated internet onto the island, whether that might reduce down the mail because people can then send emails. It could be a good possibility. I might do the telecom tower. Now, I can incorporate the telecom tower just over here, so it's kind of like slightly out the way. It gives us a little bit of internet facilitation. And then I can incorporate this one just over here. So both out of the way and both give us the islands a green network. So is that enough to then think about maybe reducing the amount of mail because now people can send email? I doubt it. For some reason, though, this is not sorting. For some reason, it doesn't seem to be sorting. Now, the unreliable mail service has gone down to -9. Right. Oh, there we go. It's now sorted. We caught up with ourselves. I'm wondering then if the email now situation reduces your mail. I'm not 100% sure. But we should see some vast improvements then on the unreliable mail service. And hopefully that little bit of improvement on traffic as well. So then roundabouts would have played a big role in improving the flow of traffic. Because there's not really that much traffic. I mean, there shouldn't be any traffic. We've got no vehicles here. What are they even talking about right now? What are they even talking about at this point? How's the cruise ships anyway? Oh, hold on. We got a load of people waiting here? We have 156, which one tram could wipe them out because of tram capacity is 240. So it's only one tram's worth of people to get in. Right, this sets us up pretty nice right now, doesn't it? This does set us up pretty nice to implement this bigger town, which means more people, more mouths to feed, and more pressures, and more stress, and more connectivity. Damn. Right, we're going to see if we can spend some additional demand right now. I haven't done a lot of the mixed zoning, so I might play around with some of these. Mixed zoning right now, we'll go for the southwest style, so we'll get you in there. Where else would be a good idea for some mixed zoning? There's all buildings there anyway. I'm thinking about getting rid of you and you. Let's get rid of that. Drop you in for one decent sized building. Because it does two things. It provides jobs and housing and the density that we're kind of after. We are starting to get a little bit of an employment, so it might be a good shout right now to de-zone some areas. And favour... Have I just got rid of a... I've just got rid of a tram stop. What an folio. Oh, I'm trying to grab the other one now as well. There we go. What a folio. What a folio right there. And then directly outside of the tram stop, we can drop in some beautiful mixed zoning. There we go. Build up a little bit of density for us there, please. Nice. Now, with this town being like it is there, we can definitely see a walkway going either direction. For ease of access, but then us building a little bit of a passenger harbour, because I don't want it to just be trams. I want it to be like we've done over here as well. It makes sense to have little passenger harbours to transport people. So my question would be, and I'll probably ask this question next episode, you know, maybe we'll find out. If I had a harbour there, would I make the ship go all the way round, or do I build a harbour there, or do I build a little cut-through canal system just to shorten the journey? Ooh, Seniac. That sounds... It does sound fancy, doesn't it? It does sound low-key kind of fancy. And I kind of like the idea of that. Right, these roundabouts are doing the jobs. They are doing the job I intended and needed them to do. So, do I now incorporate the roundabout there and there? It would make sense. I'll wait for all this before I add the rest in. But the roundabouts make perfect sense now for the implementations. We would need to add bike lanes, but I'll do that once we start getting a lot of people moving in. But we are starting to see, obviously, the increase in truck traffic now at this point. So, don't we think about the cargo train network? That's a tough decision to make. But what I will do is add in some of the other storage options. Now, does that go all the way in? If I flipped it on the other side, we can kind of annihilate a part of the building. But it doesn't work like that. I might just get rid of then this one. And I think I've got to get rid of this one as well. Hold on. Which is kind of annoying, but hold on a second. So I think I need to incorporate the small one and then the large one, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Right, they're now both in. And that's just generic storage for like the warehouse and whatnot. We'll get in some of the other storage stuff as well. We might as well now start bulking this back up. Oh, I don't know what I did there, if I'm being honest with you. I might just leave it kind of open for now. But giving us the other storage availability is also quite important. So the tank areas would be a good little shout. So I'm going to start this over on this side. I'll do one there and there. And then we've got the... Oh, ooh, these hang out. Is that right? No, I don't think they're meant to. So if I get... What is that road? Out of curiosity. It is classed as like a normal port gate road. Is that what it's like kind of classed as? I'm just going to implement both of them there. I'm slowly building up the port. I said I would do this as time goes on. But I'm just trying to see what the best option for me is with this stuff, because I've never really thought about this additional stuff. Overlapping. Has this got to hang off the edge? Because apparently it's overlapping. Right, if I anarchy this. Right, I've had to anarchy it. Just for the sake of it. I kind of like that. I kind of like the look of it. It is pretty nice. Now, we should start seeing ships coming in right now with different items that we couldn't store before. Because on the Ports DLC, we discovered that different products get placed in different storage buildings. Where if you place down a normal cargo port, everything can be stored there. Whereas it can't on this new Port DLC stuff. So some of the stuff I was not getting stored, but now I actually can. And it just kind of helps out the island a bit more with its goods. We'll make it a little bit more busy on the cargo vehicles until we filled up the storage. But it should keep us going for a long time. Right, what is now? Unreliable mail service is still a big factor. Now, what more do they require from me? Apparently our processing rate is shockingly bad. So I don't know whether to get like a larger style post office in or whether to get some smaller post offices in. So I got one over there, which was fine. I could incorporate a larger style post office. So adding it there is not a bad idea. But it doesn't really do much for me. I can add the mail extension. I could add the extra garages in. Okay, if I move this over by one. I can get the garage extension in. To utilize more vehicles. Look at all those bikes now, by the way. I haven't seen the bike issue appear in a long time, but there's a lot of people now walking. But that would be because there's a lot more people now living on both sides. Because I've increased the population quite a lot. Right, there's our reliability now increased. Or availability, I should say. So that should now decrease. And it was more than just this, wasn't it? It was more than just that. Right, you're bringing in stone and paper. You're leaving with some chemicals, some petrochemicals, some food, some fish. Glorious. You're bringing in stone. Because we've now got the ore storage and availability to store all this stuff. So the port's about to become a whole lot busier. It actually does feel like it is becoming busier. And I'm all here for it, boys. I am all here for it right now. This is good stuff. Right, real good stuff. I'm happy with how this is turning out. And we've got the plans for our big little city, which is going to hold a lot of people, a lot of the skyscraper rebuilding style, but we need to get the public transport just right. I feel this is a good idea, having it kind of cut in and then shoot back out onto the 4-lane roads. And I think we're only able to do that because we don't really have the mass amounts of traffic we would do in a normal city. But we need to incorporate other forms of it. We probably need to get some more buses back in at some point. We need to get in lots of passenger ships. We do have the ability to add in a subway access to our passenger town over there. So subways could be evolved. And at some point, right, we need to think about an airport. Now, the reason why an airport's also really important is because the airport is an additional way in which we can import and export goods. And that helps us make more money. Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? So before we end it then, our monthly balance is beautiful. So I don't think we need to worry about money for a very long time. And what that shows us is right now, we can start reinvesting our money into the services of our residents. Fish, anyway, we've got such a huge surplus. It is actually unreal, the amount of surplus we've got. But it is allowing us to produce more food and more convenience food from what you can see here. And we do have a surplus of both of those. But that's ultimately all we've got at the moment. Very exciting, boys. Very exciting. So I hope you are excited for the next episode then, because we're going to start making some progress on our big, beautiful city. Very exciting. I can see the beautiful bike lanes we can implement, but it's going to also bring us a huge population boom. So we need to be a bit careful with it all. We really do. We really do. Unemployment's at 2.5%, so we need to make sure that we're also incorporating and adding in just as many jobs. But I think reinvesting our money in services, we can kind of give them service jobs at the same time. That sounds good enough to me. Right, we'll end it here. Hope you enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you did. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.